Alright, welcome back to another night, the penultimate night. This movie was 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'll let you start. You've seen this before, so what did you think?
It's a movie about aliens. Of course I wanted to see it. Back in the day I went to see this because aliens, and then it turned into the aliens were the shitty part of the movie, and the rest of it was the good part.
Okay, good. I'm glad you think that, because I 1000% agree. The first two acts of the movie, I really enjoyed. I think John Goodman is an amazing actor, and this is just further proof of that. And the other two were also really good. I like the story, I like the setup, I like the scenario they were in, and everything about it was just really cool to me. And then she got outside, and the whole thing fell apart. Like, immediately they stopped paying attention to plot or realism or anything. Like, that all just went out the fucking window.
With aliens?
No, I'm fine with that. Well, first off, I have a little nitpick from the beginning of the movie, where she woke up, she had an IV in her arm, and immediately ripped it out. And they always do that in shows and movies, and it bugs the hell out of me, because no one would do that. Like, first of all, you'll throw up. Like, you'll vomit. Your system isn't going to handle that. And then you're also going to bleed excessively. Like, you can't just go ripping shit out and just, oh yeah, I'm fine, let's figure out stuff. No, that's not how that works. If you were unconscious to the point where you needed IV fluid, you're not just going to jump up out of bed and be fine. I know, I've passed out and needed fluid before. That's not how that works. So I always hate when they do that in movies, and that's a nitpick of mine that I'm going to mention. But no, toward the end of the movie, when she got out of the safe house there, and now the aliens are a thing, she goes to the truck, and the keys aren't in it. That's fine. It's an old truck, you can break the ignition and start it, but I don't expect her to know that, that's fine. But then she sees the car, and she goes to the car. Now, we saw the lady pull up in the car earlier in the movie. Her lights were running, and she was pounding on the door, and then she died where they could see her. So she never went back to the car.
They never showed her die there.
No, but they multiple times mentioned that they saw her die. So she didn't get back in a car. She certainly didn't go back to turn the car off to then stay where she was and die on the property. That car was left on and running with the lights on, which means when this girl went to it, the keys were still in it, but the battery was dead.
That I agree with, yeah.
And yet, the car was perfectly fine and not dead, and the keys were in the pocket of the woman. So, bullshit. Right off the bat, bullshit. The continuity, just no. But then, if you overlook that, which is hard to do because it's bullshit, but then she gets in the truck, again, later, and now she's facing off with the aliens, and it picks the truck up, and now the wipers are going. Even though she made a whole big deal about how the keys are not in the ignition and she couldn't start the truck, and that's why she initially was going to abandon it. But now the wipers are going, because magic?
I was wondering if touching the alien craft gave it some electrical juice, and things just started turning on.
There's never been any other implication of that ever, though. So if that's the case, they
I don't know,
really
maybe it was
could have
subtle and they
explained.
just wanted to add it in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's not...
The wipers didn't bother me so much.
Well, oh, I'm not done. Because then, she found a Zippo. Because of course she did. This is another thing that bothers me in movies. Everyone and their fucking brother has a Zippo in movies. Everyone, at all times, has a Zippo. Do you know where one is right now? Do you have access to one?
Over there?
There isn't one over there. That's right. You were wrong.
What's that blue
That's
one?
just a regular butane lighter. That's the electronic rechargeable one.
Oh.
But no, not everyone in the world carries a Zippo. Most people don't. A lot of people don't even own them. So I hate when in movies they're everywhere. Everyone has one in their pocket, in their car, in their house. There's always Zippos. And it's always that brand. It's never just a regular Bic lighter. It's always a Zippo. I don't know what deal they have with Hollywood, but that company makes so much fucking money in free advertising. They never need a commercial ever. And that was just another little convenient plot device that just drives me crazy. But then, she made a Molotov cocktail, lit it with the Zippo. Fine, whatever. You found all the ingredients you needed because of course you did. And the alcohol you found happens to be the flammable kind. Great. She throws it in the alien's mouth. What broke the bottle? Like, alcohol bottles are usually pretty robust. If you chuck one at someone, it's not going to break right away. I mean, you've seen people at like parties and stuff. They throw beer bottles into a bin all night and just stack them in this garbage can. They're not gentle with them. They never break. They're not just randomly breaking on every surface all the time.
If you were a giant alien that was planning on eating a truck, do you think a little tiny glass bottle would give you a problem breaking in your mouth?
I don't know if there's a surface for it to break on. Like, what if it just hit its tongue? Why would it just automatically shatter? He knows he's not at the truck yet. He's not actively biting everything that enters his mouth. Like, when you're about to eat a slice of pizza, do you start biting a foot before the pizza enters your mouth? Are you aggressively gnawing at the air?
Sometimes, if I really want to have fun with it.
Okay, well, normal humans don't. So basically, my point of this whole diatribe and nitpick fest is that the last 20 minutes of this movie are horseshit. Like, everything leading up to that is great. I loved it. The acting was good. Like I said, everything was great. But the last bit is just so stupid and wrong. Like, none of that worked for me. I did not enjoy it. One of our lights died. So yeah, I didn't like that at all. Now, you said you didn't like the alien part.
No, I didn't say that. I said it wasn't as good as the first part.
So what were your overall thoughts then?
Yeah, the first part is great. I love all the actors in this. I like the ending. I don't nitpick it as much as you did. Because I could see, you can't compare a giant floating half spaceship, half alien biological something to a human eating a food. You just can't.
No,
because it could work totally different.
That still helped. Not how Molotov cocktails work. They don't explode open on every surface.
Again, it might not have just exploded. We don't know that, and you're assuming. Like you sure. I can see why you said the car and the lights, because that was dumb and a continuity error. And, why were the wipers going? Because they never explained it. And there could have been something in there that we just don't know about. Or, like the Zippo, I don't know. I would never have cared about that, because most survival people are going to have a Zippo lighter, because those are the dependable, durable lighters.
But what if he left it in his truck?
Maybe he has like 10 of them. I don't know. Do normal people have swords? How many swords can I count in this one 10-foot square room? I don't know. People have weird shit, and a Zippo lighter is the least thing I'd be concerned about someone having in a truck.
Okay.
But, yeah, but the alien part still was a little rushed, forced. Like, the movie alone in the bomb shelter would have been so good on its own, even if it was just like a nuclear holocaust, or just some crazy person that wanted to rape a girl down in there, and he came up with this crazy story that wasn't true, but she escaped in the end. But it was aliens, and I love aliens. I want to marry aliens. I want their tentacles up inside my vagina. And this was not that.
No.
It was fine, but it was not like the first Cloverfield movie. Great. I love the alien in that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that was a very good movie. But that was aliens the whole time. Like, that was the thing. That one didn't shift away. That was one continuous movie.
I guess it just is. I guess it just is what it is. It's just.
I feel like they made a whole movie, and then at the end decided they needed to tie it into Cloverfield.
Like, what you want to do if you don't care about the aliens, when she gets out of the bunker and takes her mask off, and she breathes in, just turn the DVD off.
See, that would have been fine. I would have accepted that. That would have been a great movie. It didn't. I feel like the Cloverfield tie-in was just so unnecessary here.
At that point in those people's lives, because I know there was a lot of bullshit on the first Cloverfield movie, and they had this whole, I don't know if you remember the whole big
I remember very little about that movie.
Not the movie, but the marketing scheme beforehand, and all the this treasure scavenger hunt and all these clues that were popping up on the internet. Like, they dropped the first trailer, which was fucking phenomenal, and it's still my favorite trailer ever. And people got so excited, ooh, aliens, and J.J. Abrams, and they started dropping these weird clues, and there were even the same clues in this movie. like, the same companies referenced and shit like that. And that, I forgot where I was going. You were just going to edit out the last 5 minutes because I totally forgot where I was going. I had it in my head and it was going to be good, but now it's bullshit.
You really make it.
I know I was talking about the first Cloverfield movie.
Something about the marketing campaign.
I know that, but why was I talking about the marketing campaign in comparison to the Cloverfield movie?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
We were talking about how it felt like two separate movies. And then you apparently were going some route with the first Cloverfield, had aliens in it, and you were okay with that?
I know I had a good point to make. And I just kept saying not random shit, but I went too long and I forgot my initial train of thought.
This is his consciousness stream at work. This right here, all the time. Okay, so you said there was a third Cloverfield, right?
Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox. It only came out on... Oh, that's what it was. The first movie...
And we're back.
The first movie had no idea what it wanted to be. It had this great marketing campaign, and it had all this hype to live up to, but right up until the very end, they didn't have a name for it. And the movie... What do they... When they give the movie a fake name...
Oh, yeah, the basically the development code name.
Which was Cloverfield. And it was supposed to be something different. And they kept saying, no, Cloverfield's not the name of the movie. But at the very end, they were like, yeah, it's just going to be Cloverfield because we couldn't come up with anything better. And that's how the development of the first movie went. It was like, we had this great idea for a movie, and we just don't know where to take it. And so they kind of piecemealed it together at the very end. And then this second movie, they were like, well, the first one did so great, so we got to do a second one. And they had this great idea for it, and it wasn't executed well, and then they had a third one because this one did so well, and that one just went straight to Netflix, and I like that one as sci-fi more than this one.
Well, this
because this one's not sci-fi. This one's like
at the end, which
suspense thriller in the beginning.
Yeah.
But they're all great, but it's just the ending of this one compared with not, like they didn't just know, they knew they had to put aliens in, but they didn't know how, and it just felt kind of forced.
Yes, that I 100% agree with. It took you a half hour to get there.
But it wasn't. But I had to explain it like that because people need to understand that it's not just bullshit that the aliens are there. There's a reason for
No, yeah, absolutely. It's part of a franchise, and I get that. I feel like this movie, the movie we watched, not 10 Cloverfield Lane, just the first hour and 40 minutes that we watched, didn't need to be in this universe.
Right.
This didn't need to be the sequel. This could have been a whole different movie starring those three people just called Bunker.
Right.
Like, it didn't need to be Cloverfield.
The third movie
I think that's my issue.
The third movie is in the same vein where it's like an anthology series.
I've never seen that one either. So.
Like it's sci-fi and based in one spot, but at the very end, something happens and it brings it back to the Cloverfield universe, and it's just like it does it differently than this one.
Hopefully better.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it. I remember really liking that movie. I've liked all three of the movies, but I can't remember if that was as jarring as this was between the first and the second bit. But still, I don't know. I will say this: Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's her name. I always want to say Mary Beth because I'm always thinking of all that.
Yeah,
I'm always thinking of Mary Beth. Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great actor, but more importantly,
did a really good job.
More importantly, she's got that female figure that I'd go for. Like you know how people want like Lamborghinis and Batmobiles and all this other shit, but then realistically, they also have like a realistic car, like a really high-end Chevy or a Mercedes or something that's more realistic. Like at the top of my list is like Alice Eve, but like realistically on the top of my list for a realistic, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So it's nice watching her on film.
A side note, this is a weird video. I'm sorry for Editor Dean. Jeff Dunham owns 2 original Batmobiles. No, he owns the Tim Burton original Batmobile, and then he owns a replica of the Adam West Batmobile.
He owns
He is
Tim
a
Burton
giant
Batmobile?
car guy.
Really?
He owns a bunch of really rare, expensive, custom, amazing cars. Like a 1930s Ford Hot Rod, customized to have the head of his terrorist puppet on it, that opens and moves with the air intake. Like, oh yeah, the dude is a huge car nut. Yeah, like right up there with like Leno and Seinfeld. It's ridiculous.
I would have never guessed.
But yeah, way off tangent. No, I kind of get what you're saying there. I can see that. But yeah, no, I loved her in this movie. She did a really killer job. And then the other guy, John Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you said it too. I've seen him in other things, and I can't think of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really good.
I like him a lot. They did a great job casting this movie.
Yeah.
They found the three perfect
And
people
Goodman
to be in an
Goodman's
enclosed
amazing
room.
in anything ever.
He just had such subtle mannerisms that you just didn't know like he was thinking about this deeper and can make he could just understand a whole backstory with just his visual expressions.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine anyone else in this role playing that character after seeing him do it. Like he was just so perfect and in character the whole time, and like how he would kind of flip a switch to go between like this grumpy kind of off, conspiracy nut, and then just this friendly, jovial guy, and that effortlessness where he could just jump was just incredible to watch.
Yeah.
So I really, as far as the story goes, I don't want to recommend the movie because that ending is so stupid to me. But as far as like the acting and just as an experience to see and witness, because there is so much good in this movie, like I still want to recommend it. Like I think at the end, if I have to rate it, and we're way past that time in the video, so we should. I'm torn. I want to give it like a 6, but I also want to give it like a 9. Like the acting and the original story
I'm
is
going
like
with
a
an
9.
8.
But I'm gonna say 7. Like it was great up until that point. Like he said, if you cut it off right when she gets out of the bunker and takes the mask off and just does that deep breath after seeing the birds, cut it right there, it's a 9. All the way, hands down, easily. Everything after that just really just diminishes. So, yeah, I'll give it a 7. it's above average, I could still recommend it. If you're into the sci-fi, the alien thing, and you're watching the whole Cloverfield franchise, maybe it's better. Like, maybe as part of the experience all at once. I don't really know. I saw the first one once in theaters. Never seen the third. So, sci-fi's not usually my jam. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. A 7.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
Oh, don't get me started on that movie. But yeah, that was our second to last one. So tune in tomorrow for the last video.
Hey, Buck.
You enjoyed this one.
Yeah. But thank Buck.
We'll see you tomorrow.